Welcome to NightChild Reviews. Today we're starting right at the beginning of it all, Prince's very first album release. I've listened to this album countless times over the past few weeks and it still absolutely just stuns me, the sheer level of musical maturity that Prince displayed here at such a young age. Many of the songs existed earlier as demos from around 1976 to 1977 when Prince was just 18-19, and the album was finally released when Prince was a couple of months short of his 20th birthday. To have both the ability and confidence at such a young age to insist that he was going to create his own work, produce his own album, play every instrument on the album, is something that we almost become lazy to, just how remarkable that really is. For this first album, Prince was perfecting his technique. He complained later that this album was almost too perfect. Taking around 4 months to complete, Prince absolutely blew the initial budget of $180,000 for his first 3 albums by spending close to $170,000 on this album alone. And it's here that I think Warner Brothers deserve a lot of credit. Here they had this unknown star, this unknown quantity who wanted to produce at 19, play everything, write the songs, and yet they realised the singularly unique talent that they had got their hands on. Prince gave them in return a simply flooring falsetto, which he used as he felt he couldn't get enough life from his normal baritone. He, with the final track, gave a small glimpse of the guitar hero he would go on to be. He gave them delicate, beautiful ballads, musical knowledge beyond his years, and one of the richest, plushest sounding Prince albums of all time. Was it possible to imagine just how Prince's journey would develop from this first album? Probably not. But here Prince laid down a foundation. Here I am. Here is my once-in-a-generation talent. I can do it all, and my name is Prince. This intricately crafted, swirling, multi-layered, ethereal choir of pure Prince is a pure showcase of falsetto perfection. Prince's opening statement, "All of this and more is for you, with love, sincerity, and deepest care, my life with you I share," is as perfect a summation, Prince's mission statement of intent, if you like. He shared his life with us. Every emotion, every pang of love, every spiritual, existential experience, every sexual thrust, and everything in between. A short opener at just 1 minute 6. Indeed, the entire album is only just over 33 minutes long, and yet quite a brave opener. Prince was not going to be your average artist. The first full-length track, although it is worth noting that a couple of songs were left off the album, including Make It Through the Storm and Amber Eyes. In Love with the B-side to the second of 2 singles released from this album, Soft and Wet and Just As Long As We're Together. The first thing that really hits you is the plush, full sound, springy, rubbery effects, and the way Prince both conveys a youthful energy with his breathless falsetto, but also sounds like he's been making records for years. Compared to later albums, Prince's vocals aren't quite as front and centre, but they are masterful. At around 2 minutes 20, his vocals take a breathless twist. The lyrics are pure Prince. "Ever since I met you, baby, I've been wanting to lay you down. But it's just so hard to get you, baby, when you never come around." And the classic line, "What more do I have to say? I really want to play in your river." It was clear Prince was going to be an artist who did not shy away from sexual exploration. The first single released, and a song that eventually ended up on the Hits 1 disc, which just shows you how early on in his career Prince was creating these addictively catchy tracks. The keyboard riff with a gurgling underbelly motif are perfectly composed. "Hey, lover, I got a sugar cane, that I want to lose in you, baby can you stand the pain?" The slight pauses before Prince launches into each hey really adds an urgency to the track that propels it along, bouncing and enjoying itself. The track is fun, toying, playful, and around 1 minute 40 we are treated to a great keyboard solo, and then a few minutes later Prince pauses and sings "You leave me without breath," and Prince adds this breathless pant. This is actually one of the earliest tracks worked on, and yet it shows a very good ear for a commercial and memorable track. Whilst Prince was only at the very beginning of his songwriting career, it was abundantly clear that he was able to craft songs with great aplomb. Prince's recording on this album was something he clearly took time and money over, and later on in his career, as he became even more practiced, he sped up that process. This is the first real chance we get to experience a slow, drifting love ballad from Prince. His haunting guitar work gives way to a number of space-age effects which permeate this album, adding a twist to more traditional sounds. You have got a strange way about you, kinda crazy. There's some really nice little flecks and drops of sound in the background, and some interesting little effects which really add much more depth to the track aside from the main acoustic vibe. It's pretty short at 2 minutes 17, and it would have been great to have another verse, but sometimes with songs such as Had You, everything that needs to be said has been said. Ironically, Prince can make the shortest of songs a very deep and fulfilling experience, and he can also create a jam that lasts for an hour, which envelops you totally. The longest track by far on this album is 6 minutes 24, and the second single, something of a showpiece. Prince actually recorded this song and gave it to music executives in order to display the talent that they were investing in. Upbeat, busy, layered, fast, frenetic, and with some beautiful falsetto pauses, Prince throws in some great breakdown sections, and even uses his normal register for some parts. The interplay of Prince's deep baritone adds a whole new feel to this track. This is also really the first chance Prince takes to experiment musically, and at about the 1 minute 54 section, a great drum and bass breakdown section leads into an even more heightened second section. Lyrically, this song is relatively simple, with a large amount of repetition of the title phrase. It's almost as if the lyrics act as a vehicle for Prince to show off his synthesizer, drum and bass skills, and to stretch out his legs musically. From about 3 minutes 40 onwards, this is a jam, with Prince noodling on guitar, percussion and synths. Essentially, you could say that the extended jam was born here, and it is crazily funky. Just to repeat, this was a 19-year-old. Remarkable. This is, I think, an almost unique entry in the Prince canon. Often Prince focuses on the sexual or spiritual side, but this is a breathtakingly honest dilemma song in which Prince and his girlfriend find themselves unexpectedly expecting a baby. Baby, what are we gonna do? I barely have enough money for two. Baby, what are we gonna do? I don't want to regret what I've done to you. I never thought that this would happen to a very careful man like me. A dramatic, operatic beginning slides into a ponderous and gentle ballad. A few doo-wops and some of the crispest vocals I've ever heard really lift this track, and there are times when Prince's voice, even when you thought it had nowhere to go, just lifts even higher. There's a nice part about 1 minute 15 where Prince almost races with the music to try and conquer it. A version of the song was actually one of the first songs that formed part of the demo tapes that Prince used as a teenager. The song ends as dramatically as it starts, and it does seem incredibly open, honest and beautiful. One of two songs in which Chris Moon plays a part. Co-credited with the lyrics to Soft and Wet, Chris played a part in the original song, but Prince apparently heavily reworked the song. It is a track in which, whilst it bubbles along, doesn't explode. It's a nice mix of vocal interplay and drum and bass. It's the odd bit of guitar work around 2 minutes, and again at 2 minutes 47, that really is a standout feature of this track. Prince has always seemed to have a talent for creating just the right guitar work that's required, each time different and original to the song in question. A nice, growling, rolling bass starts the track, and with the help of a nice slide effect and guitar work, this track is a delicate flower in which Prince laments his lost love. The crescendo that builds up around 3 minutes 45 onwards just exemplifies what a truly stunning vocalist Prince is. The problem almost for Prince is that he just has so many talents that you can easily overlook any one of them. This is a sweet song with stunning vocals. When I first ever heard this album, and this track in particular, I was just amazed. Where did this come from? A fiery, drum-pounding, guitar-blazing track which shows us the very first hint of Prince and the guitar god he would go on to be. The opening, rolling drum solo and screeching guitars throw you into the song at 100 miles an hour. Prince's vocals are almost buried under the weight of the guitar and almost hard to make out. Only when we get to the chorus do they rise again. Never have I ever made love before, never have I wanted to till now. Lover, can't you see I want you more and more? Take me baby, yeah. I'm Yours. It was an idea that Prince used later in his career, attaching these completely different sounding songs to the end of an album. Listen to that guitar solo from 2 minutes 18 onwards. This is a teenager with a truly shocking amount of talent. I'm always floored with this song. A great friend of mine and a Prince fan called Graham, he told me that after listening to this track, he just feels breathless and needs space and time to recover. He's absolutely right. Listen to 4 minutes 7. He is absolutely right. I would like to add finally that these are just some brief thoughts about these albums and just a taster of the in-depth world of exploration that awaits anyone listening to them. Please explore these albums, play them many times and enjoy the many gifts that Prince left for us all. He is a remarkable talent, and you could spend the rest of your life listening to Prince and it would be one of the best things you could do. Thank you so much for letting me talk about this amazing artist, and I will see you very shortly.